everybody, and welcome to another Teach Me to Code. This is Charles Max Wood, and I've had a few requests come in to show how to do complex forms with multiple models in the same form using JQuery. And so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Now, as a template for that, I'm actually going to use Ryan Bates' complex form examples. I found these to be extremely useful, and so I'm just going to go ahead and rather than recreate it, I'm actually going to refactor this to use jQuery, which seems to be what people want to do. Ryan's examples use prototype, but I highly recommend if you get the chance to go back and look at the Rails cast that he did that shows you that. So I have gone ahead and forked his project, and as you can see here, I've actually checked it out and been playing with it a little bit, but I haven't refactored it yet. So let's go ahead and start up the server just to get an example of how this works. And so we'll just go ahead and localhost 3000, and you can see here that we have a project, and if you go ahead and edit it, you have two tasks, Chuck's task and another task. And if you click this new task, it just puts another one in. If you click remove, it takes it out. If you submit, you can see that we've lost a task because it's been deleted. So anyway, you can get a real feel for how this works. So let's go ahead and look at the source code and see how this works. Now, the first thing we see here is this form. And the form, it's a pretty standard form, takes a name for the project, and then we get down here for the tasks. And you just do a fields for, it brings the task in, and then this is where the real magic happens. Is you have this add child link. Now, this isn't a standard Ruby on Rails thing, but Ryan has actually written add child link here. So it's in the application helper, which means it's available to all of the views. So add child link takes a name, a form builder, and a method, which is the tasks method. You can see that it's called, we'll just come back over here real quick. You can see that it's being called, so this is the name, this is the text that shows up. F is the form builder from this form for, and tasks is the method on the object at project that we're going to be adding child links for. So let's come over here to application helper and look at this really quickly. So if you look at this, fields is new child fields, and it's called with the same form builder and tasks. So what this does is it actually comes down here, and I'm not going to explain all of this, but you can see that it creates a form builder based off of the object that comes out of reflecting to get the association. So basically what it does is, since this method is tasks, then what it does is it goes and it pulls the class name from the task and creates a new instance of that, and that's the object on the form builder. And then it figures out which partial to render, and it renders the partial. And in this case, the partial is task. So if we come over here and look at the task partial, you can see that that's exactly what we're getting in our form. It says task, it asks for a name, and then it has the link for remove, which is this remove child link. And the remove child link is right back here in application helper, and what it does is it just creates a hidden field, and it then adds a link to remove, or it adds a link to this particular function, remove fields, and then it passes in the object for the link, which, as we'll see, actually goes and modifies this hidden field. In fact, let's go ahead and bring that up right now. So you have a link to insert fields, and you have this, you have tasks, which is the name of the method that we passed in, if you remember, and fields, which is that tasks partial, escape JavaScript fields. So, it basically makes it so that it's all one string and it's all escaped. So let's come up here and see how this works. So you have insert fields, which takes a link, a method, and content. Now, if we look at this really quickly, let's go back to the helper. The link is this. And if we look at the source code here, what we'll see here is this is the link right here. So href, you see the onClick event. So this is obtrusive or inline JavaScript. And ideally, we would like to make it unobtrusive, but I want to keep this kind of short. So I'm not going to do that right here. You can see that it's all escaped. And then the name that or the link is this new task. So the link is this link, this anchor right here. So this element, well, let's bring up the code again. So from this element, the link, so it finds itself dot up, which is the paragraph or the P tag that we see here. Let's pull this up again. So now we're at this paragraph right there. And then what it does is it inserts before it puts the content in here, and then it uses this replace to replace some placeholder text with this new ID, which is just some randomly generated, well, not randomly generated number, but it's an integer representing the date. Okay? And you can see here that remove fields, all this does is it finds the hidden field that's previous to the link, and then it just sets its value to 1, and then it goes up to the class fields and it hides the field. So this is where we're going to do the work. This is where the magic happens for adding and removing subclasses or sub-objects, or child objects. That's the term I'm looking for. Child objects on the jQuery. Now, my jQuery is a little rusty, so I may actually wind up cheating a little bit, but I think it's useful to know where to find the information in the jQuery documentation. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull down jQuery. So jQuery. Downloading jQuery. Download. We're just going to go ahead and pull down the minified version. Oops. Save link as. And we'll go ahead and put it right into our code here. It was complex examples, public JavaScripts. Save. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I actually need, well, let's come back over here, and in the layout, we're going to go ahead and jQuery -1.4.2.min. I think it was .min. Let me double check. Yeah. So that will pull in jQuery now instead of prototype. All right, one other thing that we need to make sure that we do is we need to make sure that we add the application.js. As you can see, it's not included anymore because we took out defaults. JavaScript include tag application, and that should do it. So let's go ahead and save that. All right, so now that we have the jQuery and application.js included, let's come back over here where all the magic happens. This is the JavaScript that's gonna make everything else work. So let's go ahead and look here real quick. Now, date.getTime is standard JavaScript. No worries there. The regexp, again, no worries there. $link should find that link that it does all the work from. Again, just fine. But .up is actually prototype. It's not going to work. So if we change it, we can go to parent, which means that we just bubble up one layer. And then instead of insert and using the little selector tag in there, what we can actually do is we can say before, because we're in Java or JQuery, excuse me, we should be able to just move this content replace up here, and let's save it. And then let's go ahead and come over to our project here, and we'll go ahead and refresh real quick. Oop. Stop the server. Script server. So then we're off to the races again, or should be shortly. And if we click new task, voila, we have a new task. So part 1 is done. Part 2, not so much. So we still have to make that remove work. So what we'll do is we'll come down here to remove fields, and if you look here, it first finds this hidden field. And if we go ahead and we do if we do hidden field, now this link, again, this will work, but in jQuery I believe it's prev, and then if we have a hidden field, I think that'll work. I think the hidden field value will work. And again, then we just go to parent, and this actually is a selector, so it'll go up through the DOM until it finds a class fields object, and then I believe hide will work. So let's go ahead and try this again. So we're going to add task, and we click remove, and it vanishes. Now let's go ahead and submit and make sure that so it didn't set that variable, and this is a problem I always run into with jQuery, and I don't completely understand why I can't get this straight in my head, but I believe you can just do this. Oh, this is get not set. Oh yeah, right here, adder value. Okay, so you know, it's natural to me with Ruby to see it this way, but it's not correct. So let's go ahead and do this. Edit, remove, submit, and it's gone. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just do a get status. You can see the files that we've changed here. We changed the application layout, we changed the JavaScript file, and we added jQuery. So get add get commit. We moved complex model forms to jQuery. Now, if you're interested in a future episode where we move this into some non-obtrusive JavaScript, I'd be happy to do that. Oh, there you go. You see my screen flow. Go ahead and go to teachmetocode.com. Go ahead and click on requests, and it'll pull up this list. And just go ahead and put your vote in, and we'll cover some of these other ideas. So if you would like to see the nested attributes moved to unobtrusive JavaScript, that's where you need to go, and leave us a vote, and we'll get it on the list. And that's it. Thanks. Jumpstart Lab offers private and corporate training in Ruby, Rails, and related technologies. They are experienced educators, not just good developers, and will get you going quickly. Courses can be scheduled in the US or around the world, and curriculum customized to meet your needs. Learn more at jumpstartlab.com. This episode is sponsored by ClutterPad, the most awesome online project management and collaboration tool ever. Sign up now at www.clutterpad.com.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!